And now rumors, or maybe even heated up rumors, because I think there have been rumors for a little while that something was going to go on in Edmonton.
I'm glad you said that, because the rumor mill in Edmonton's normally at a 10. It's usually simmering at like a 4 or 5 constantly.
Right.
Most teams are at a 2. The Oilers just kind of live in 4 to 5 range every day. Peter Chiarelli wakes up and looks at the standings and realizes this might not be good enough.
Right.
But today, like, we're going to 6. We're going to 7.
We're turning it up.
We're turning it up a little bit, right? So it's being widely reported today the Oilers have a lot of things on the table.
Right.
It's been reported a first-round pick is on the table for a top 6 forward. Jesse Puljujarvi, maybe a goaltender. They're not happy with Cam Talbot. It's pretty obvious about that.
Right.
Mikko Koskinen's contract's pretty good, though.
But where's Cam Talbot going?
I don't know.
Like, isn't it 4.1 or something like that?
It's reasonable, but it's not. Like, he's in that weird in-between range. And if you're up against the cap, Cam Talbot's not helping you. That's not money you can eat. So there's a lot happening here with the Oilers. Again, they're just 2 points out of that last wild card spot. They either get the second wild card spot in the West or the first. They are not finishing top 3 in their division.
Let me ask you a tough question. Are the Vancouver Canucks better than the Edmonton Oilers?
Not without Elias Pettersson. If Pettersson's back, and he will be soon, thankfully for that fan base in the lower mainland, I think Vancouver might be a better team right now. I don't think that's the craziest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, like I'm watching games and I'm looking at the standings and I'm starting to think that the Vancouver Canucks, even without Elias Pettersson, are better.
Nailed it.
Like, they have 2 games in hand, I understand it. They're 2 points up on them. They're relatively similar. I think I would take the Vancouver Canucks for the rest of the year over the Edmonton Oilers.
Oh.
Like, a lot of people are talking about, listen, Clefbaum was a huge blow to this team, and I will add that caveat to the rest of this conversation.
And you should.
And we did when it happened, right? Like, it's not as if we let that go. When it happened, I sat on this desk and said, this is going to be a huge blow to this team. But if you look at the team under Todd McLellan and under Ken Hitchcock, it's not a huge difference. People thought they were going to get this bump. You were talking about the bump going away because the bump usually happens when the new coach comes along. I don't know that they are any better under Ken Hitchcock, and I think that's why we're reading. 1, because someone wants to save their job, and 2, because they're just not that good. That's why we're reading constantly about Edmonton Oilers rumors, because everyone knows they need to shuffle.
But if you're a fan base, this should scare you more than anything else.
Yes.
The only thing that
I would agree with you. Yeah.
The only thing that should scare the Oilers fan base more is if you hear Connor wants out, and the clock is ticking. Okay, that's a story for another day. This, we're middling. 2 points back of a playoff spot, willing to trade firsts, willing to trade this, willing to trade that. When the GM's in trouble, that is a recipe for disaster. Mm-hmm. And if I'm an Oiler fan, under no circumstances am I comfortable with Peter Chiarelli, assuming he's making the calls, making those calls. This is not why you make deals, to just get into the playoffs by the skin of your damn teeth, to have a couple of home dates in the postseason at Rexall Place. Rogers Place. That is not how this is supposed to work. Real franchises don't do that. And thank you, Rogers Place. That, to me, if I'm an Oiler fan, and I know there are a lot of you out there, a shiver goes up your spine when you're hearing some of the things that are on the table. Because the Oilers still have all their first rounders for the next 3 years, all their second rounders for the next 3 years. They seem set if they want to try and do something.
But then you add the, hey, Connor might want out. And then you're talking, like, you can't have your cake and eat it too, right? Like, you can't say, well, let's have the patience to sit around and wait for these first-round picks to come to fruition, because they've done that before in Edmonton. And the ultimate sensitivity of any Oilers fan right now, anyone in the Oilers organization, is anyone suggesting that Connor McDavid might want out. And I get that this is 2019 and that kids these days don't have the patience to see things through, and fans these days, because they see every game, don't have the patience to see things through. But you can't have your cake and eat it too.
No.
You can't say, don't trade those picks and then the team has to be better. Well, how the hell are you getting better? It's not trading Milan Lucic. Like, how the hell is this team going to get better? Edmonton fan wrote into the show and said the Oilers could sure use a Hall, Eberle, or Barzal. That's a fair point as well. I understand why.
For those at home who don't get it, those are all former Oilers doing semi-well or very well in other places.
One more thing on hockey before we move on, and Chris Johnson's going to join us a little later on. We'll walk down this road with him a little further and see what actually could be moved to get talent back, because the rest of the league is also looking at Peter Chiarelli the way Edmonton fans are looking at Peter Chiarelli.
Some of them are like fresh meat.
Right.
Ooh.
Like, this is the part of the equation that always baffles me. Well, we got to make a move to get better. Tell me the move, and don't be a fan about it. Right?
You want to move to be? How about this
like
move?
You're not trading Lucic and getting something good back for it.
You want to move to get better? How about have Leon Draisaitl at $8.5 million a year be on a line without McDavid and also get points?
Right.
How about that for a move? This is insanity. You give a guy $8.5 million. Can I play with Connor? No guff. Yeah. I get 2 points and I'm playing with Connor.
Right.
No kidding.
Right.
$8.5 million. You send in your own line and you take care of business all the time. This is the NHL. Get it done.
Kara, all those guys can play with Connor McDavid and look good. Ty Ratty, you can pick guys up off scrap heap and put them on McDavid. Your $8.5 million player has to do something on his own as well.
Absolutely ludicrous.